And we are live. Cool. All right. Welcome to the Age of Men podcast. Let's start the show.
Viewer discretion advised.
Bad vibrations?
Not suitable for work.
Son of a bitch.
Warning. If you are highly sensitive, overly emotional, or easily triggered, do us all a favor and quietly tune out. No need ruining the good time of others simply because you are a beta or a bitch. Age of Men podcast with your co-host in crime, Nick and Julius. Initiate launch sequence.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Age of Men podcast. We appreciate you guys all for tuning in. God bless you all. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You can also follow us on all other social media platforms. The links are down below. If you want to support this channel so we can give you guys better quality content, the cash apps are down below. If you have any questions or you want to DM us any kind of content you want us to review and discuss, you can always email us. Links are down below. Or you can DM us on Instagram.com/Age of Men podcast. We appreciate you all for being here. What's up, Jules? What's up, Joe? What's up, Rel? We appreciate you guys all for being here. Very, very interesting topic to discuss tonight. Last week we had should men date single mothers? And I think that was a great conversation we had last week. And this week we're asking, should women date single fathers? And I get it. I know these questions can seem like, what's the point? Why are we having this conversation? Well, we have this conversation because, as you know, America, we're not perfect when it comes to parenthood. A lot of kids are growing up with different dads and therefore the identity is getting lost in the home. Therefore, outside the home, society becomes the opposite gender. So we're definitely switching the gender roles in the homes. Men are not having backbone, and women are having too much backbone. And so when the roles get switched, life is a B. So but yeah, so I think it's a good question because, oftentimes you do have exceptions to the rules. You have, the father dying or the wife dying or wherever the case may be. But I think it's interesting to kind of explore because oftentimes you will find women who do tend to date single dads, but there is a common factor, and we'll definitely explore that with videos that we'll watch and articles we'll talk about as well. So to all the single mothers out there, to all the single women out there, we want to know you guys' opinions. Do you guys think that women should date single fathers, whether you're childless or you have a child? Let us know in the chat or let us know in the comments below if you're watching this on replay. So appreciate you guys. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So Nick, how's it going, man?
Great, bro. Us on the Age of Men, we like to keep it fair. And you people often, you critics out there, I should say, I'm addressing the critics. You have a tendency to overlook when we're being fair by giving the hard line to the male sex. Well, we asked this question last week, and, of course, we get a bunch of pushback. Oh, how dare you ask that about the ladies and the single moms? Well, we're asking about single dads this week, okay? So now, where you at?
Yeah, yep.
Crickets.
True that. I agree. Yeah, because anytime you start to hold men accountable, there's really not much to combat it with. It's almost like it's forbidden to talk about women, talk about it's forbidden, but yet when you talk about single dads, nobody's saying, "Oh my God, why are you guys talking about single dads for? Why are you guys, gotta hold them accountable?" Nobody cares when we hold men accountable, but they go when we hold women accountable every single time. It's bizarre. So, uh,
We already got some feedback in the chat. Stacy said some interesting comments. She said, "I've got grandkids. I'm not sure I want a dude with kids at home." She went on to say, "I have dated and married single dads."
interesting. That's very interesting. I'm curious to know how that went for you because oftentimes, again, when it comes to like single, we know why most men would not like to because the child, because the father, because just lots of baggage. That baggage being like emotional baggage, especially when it's like multiple dudes. Men don't like to think about other men doing a romantic way with the woman, and I would argue when it comes to single fathers, uh, you would see women tend to kind of give single fathers a chance because they see financial security. But I think the biggest thing, and we'll definitely jump into this, is the child. Where it's funny because I just thought about this before we started the live, and this is my opinion, so I'm just take it how you want it. But it seems like women have an issue with being second because of the child, whereas I would argue that men, it's not about being second because both men and women do put their child first, these single parents. But I would argue that men can often come first when it comes to being a stepdad because it's a man and a child first, especially if they're married. You know what I mean? Because if you do biblical ways, God, Christ, man, woman, child, but in a secular worldview, the man would be the husband, the wife, the children, things like that. So I would argue when there's a man in a child's life, that man would be first, whereas the woman who comes to the man's life, she's second, the child comes first, because men and women are different. So I can be wrong on that, but that's just, I guess, my. But let me know. Let me know.
Well, Julius,
Stacy
I
said,
got Stacy. Yeah, is dropping some funny, crazy bombs in the chat already.
yeah, she said, let me pull this up too. She said, awful. His kids were perfect. Mine weren't. He decided to surgically castrate himself and wear his
So he
adult kids are.
transitioned.
Whoa.
So you married a dude that became a woman.
Wow. Yeah, she married a dude like a lady.
Does that make her a lesbian?
I right? By their standards, that's crazy. Is that really true? Is that a true story? Like she dated a single dad and he wore a dress.
Stacy, you better be pulling our leg because if not, that's wild.
According to her, she said it's true. Believe all women, right? Believe all women. Yeah, that's pretty interesting to me. But I mean, it makes me a trans widow.
Nice.
But I mean, so in that case, I wouldn't say that's often the case, but that does actually make an interesting point because women always talk about accept me for who I am and blah blah blah. To a woman, and she's like,
Julius, you're
I'm
cutting
not
in and
dealing
out a
with
lot,
this.
just
So
so you
this
know.
whole acceptance thing.
You're cutting in and out a lot, just so you know.
Oh, am I really?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Let me fix the audio. Hang on, guys.
You were dating what kind? Okay, Joe's asking Stacy an interesting question to follow up to that. Looking back, Stacy, were there any signs that you were dating when you were dating, what kind of guy he was? Or what kind of girl he was?
All good now?
So far, so good. I'll let you know.
Am I okay? Because my mic was on the internal microphone. Now it's on this microphone here. This one. This one.
Oh,
So
cool.
I should be good now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I should be
sounds
good
great.
now. She said, "Would you like to come on?"
Stacy, get your butt on here right now.
Yeah.
I'm eager to ask you questions all about this.
We'll bring you on for sure. Hang on a second. Here's the link here, and just pop on in. So
As far as trans, no, he was super masculine, military, businessman in suits, except that he chemically castrated himself and likes to wear dresses.
yeah, so what key word was was was. So
No, I don't think so.
that's
I think that would be a cover. He'd be faking that super masculine stuff if in reality he really likes to get off on dress wearing.
yeah. Well, I mean, but maybe he was like maybe he was like you know how oftentimes you see these like feminine women and all of a sudden like liberalism changes them and they start acting like a man. They start cutting their hair, cut their breasts off. Like that can happen. And it could be a thing where it's like maybe he secretly wanted that the entire time, but at the same time, maybe he was masculine and something radicalized him and then made him go uh trans.
Made him go
Jackson's
ballless.
unreal. Wait, Jackson's late unreal? What's Sean talking about?
Sean's talking shit on our friend Jax that we were just hanging out with in
Oh,
Discord before this.
yeah, no, because I asked Jax to come on to join the show. She said she will in a couple weeks. And she
Oh,
said
look, there she is.
there, but yeah. See, yeah. So, but yeah. So we got the StreamYard link. If anybody wants to come in and talk about this topic, we'd love to conversate with you guys about whether or not women should date single fathers. So, I want to pull up this article that I want to talk about that I thought was very interesting to me. Let me see if I could find it. Hold up. Oh, looks like we got somebody on, and we got Stacy. What up, Stacy?
Stacy, the woman of the hour.
Hey guys.
You're not a
How you
grandma.
doing?
Good. My camera's not working, but that is a recent picture.
You're not a grandma then. That's not a grandma picture. Are
How
you
old are
really
you,
a grandma?
Stacy? How old
Yeah,
are
I
you?
really am a grandma. I really am. 56.
Okay. You know what's funny? This is
Yeah.
so weird. When I actually how old you was, number 56 actually popped in my head for some reason. I'm not lying about that.
I believe you.
That's so weird. That's
I
crazy.
believe you. Yeah, my
Never say it
oldest
out
is
loud, Julius. If you have a good guess on a woman's age, never. It's a lose-lose. Can't win.
Well, I always make the joke like, "How old are you? 21?" Like, you're so cute. You know, oh, so cute.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet you get tons
Um,
of gilfs that way.
So Stacy,
Yeah.
so before we start diving into your story that you was telling us through the chat, we're talking single fathers because last week we talked about if men should date single mothers. So what would be your take on if women should date single fathers? Do you think they should? Do you think they shouldn't? What's your take on it?
Because you said you've married a single father, right?
Yes, I did actually. My last I've been married and divorced a couple times. And the last one was a single father when, and I was a single mom when we got together, and there was 8 kids total. And yeah, I saw that double take on your look. Yeah, we did. I had 5 and he had 3. That my oldest never lived with us, and there were 7 in the house at one point in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house.
Hey, whoa!
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
that's like the lame version of Full House, the sitcom.
right? Kinda. It was humorous.
What attracted you to this single dad?
There was a lot of things like I thought at the time that he would provide for me and, be my protector and all of the things that I was brought up thinking that men are supposed to be in a relationship.
And then the dress wearing.
And it was several years in before he started just wearing slightly more gender neutral clothing. Like, I want to hang out around the house in like leggings instead of jeans.
What
Okay,
did
I
you
don't
bust them? What did
care.
you bust them in female clothing? Like, how did you come to like realize like this is the situation?
Well, actually, it was really interesting because you're gonna really think I make shit up now. I had a porn star living across the street who was a good friend, and
Oh
she
Lord.
really liked to play dress up. So we'd get like super stoned and play dress up.
And
So one
he
day she decided he needed to have a dress on too.
and he was like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
like, well, if your wife and a porn star tell you to put a dress on, are you gonna put a dress on?
Fuck no.
So, I mean, and here's the thing though, is that I don't think clothes are especially gendered per se. And, so I think that we can wear whatever we want to wear. I've had an argument, a fight, whatever, when, throughout my whole life. So, to wear what I wanted to wear because I was raised in a really, really conservative culture. And my mother thought my skirts were too short. I wore too much black,
What, you
you
didn't
know,
get to have your cleavage hanging out enough and
Hold
whatever.
on.
So, well, not even that. No, I'm not talking modesty. I'm talking just, just being able to wear what you wanted to wear as opposed
Wait,
to
so
having.
you would argue with him about
No,
what to wear?
no, my mother when I was younger.
Okay.
So, yeah, and like the culture I was in, oh, you can't wear that, you can't wear that, super conservative. So, I'd always been pushing the boundaries on what I wanted to wear. So, when somebody close to me says, "Hey, I want to change what I'm wearing," I'm like, "Okay, I don't care." But it slowly went to.
lingerie.
Yeah. No, it rapidly went to lingerie, actually. It
Do
Oh,
you
always rapidly goes to lingerie. I have
do you
sat
think
with
that
hundreds and hundreds of trans people. It always goes to lingerie. Always.
do, do you think that it was your encouragement of saying, I don't care what you wear. You can wear whatever you want. It's not gender specific. Do you think that's why he was like, okay, I'll listen to you?
So I really think that I've done lots and lots of research, and I don't think that it's because somebody says, "Hey, you can wear what you want now," that makes a change. I think somebody making you comfortable, um,
so you think he was
allowing you
always like that? You were just able to bring
to
it
push
out of him when he
boundaries.
started to feel like he could be
Yeah,
comfortable enough to be himself around you.
right, right.
Now, did you
So
notice that he was a heterosexual male? Obviously, to get married to him, I mean, he had
yes, yeah, he was
heterosexual tendencies.
heterosexual male. Yes, very heterosexual male. I thought when we were first together.
Did he reveal some homosexual tendencies eventually?
Slowly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. There's
Oh,
also childhood sexual abuse came out. And if
Yeah,
you
see,
listen
there it
to
is.
like
There it
yeah,
is.
if you listen to German New Medicine, like Dr. Melissa Sell talks about it a lot, that there is always a trauma that happens around your gender identification. I will use that term, your sexuality. It doesn't mean that the trauma is sexual abuse. It can be, but it could simply be that somebody told you that boys don't carry handbags. You're stupid for wanting to carry your mother's handbag.
yeah, some sort of traumatic effect.
So yeah, it's something traumatic that the child takes as traumatic. Nobody else in the situation may have noticed it as traumatic, but the child sees that as traumatic and feels that how they fit in the world needs to change to keep them safe in the world. Some of us get obese. Some of us have different kinds of eating disorders
And some of us
or
want our
other
wives to peg us
things.
while we're wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Ugh, God,
So, yeah,
that's disgusting.
yeah.
Did he ask you to peg him?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is disgusting.
Bro, you married a fag.
So you don't think you do, and how would you find these things out earlier in the relationship
Well, if he wasn't
when
aroused when he laid down with him, maybe that was a sign that he likes dudes.
when he was sorry
So you said he was heterosexual at first.
I thought he was.
He was able to fake it. I'm trying to spare the audience. Like I don't want to get too graphic.
I don't think I
Yeah.
think that there's a lot of people who have things they want to explore or have explored that they don't necessarily share with their partners until far enough into a relationship that they feel they can sneak little bits in and push slowly, very, very slowly, little
Literally,
tiny bit
sneak little bits in his butthole. He takes dicks in the ass.
You got to blame the
So
culture on that one, man. Blame the culture because once they
yeah,
started making music saying that you can eat you got to eat it like at groceries. Men started doing the whole eating and then pornography plays a big role into it too
yeah,
because they're
pornography
doing
is a
that in
huge role.
pornography. They're doing it on OnlyFans. Like they're making it such a trend, especially like on Instagram. They're making like memes out of it. So now you got people who are promoting to like eat butthole as like a kink, and it's just disgusting.
I don't
Yeah,
even eat
there's
the front, let alone the back.
How long did the relationship last between you two?
We met in early '08, and in 2021 I finally got out early in 21.
Mm. Wait, so from 08 to 2021?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and then so was it like it happened with him transitioning towards
He
the
didn't
end or like,
transition until after he's was dressing, and then against my wishes he went on hormones, and that really that was the beginning of the end. Was yeah, narcissistic abuse comes in all forms. Trans is one of them. And hormones, my personal opinion from much research and personal experience and listening to others, is nobody should be on artificial hormones ever, let alone ones for a body that isn't yours.
yeah, that's
Yes.
insane.
How dare you say that?
I,
I know.
yeah,
I know.
I pray for that guy. I pray for that
Yeah.
guy.
That girl
Yeah.
guy, whatever the hell's going
So
on
Yeah,
yeah,
there.
so
whatever it
after,
is.
like, I went to go help my daughter with her wedding, and was supposed to be gone 10 weeks for that. And right after I left, he went and got his COVID jab and
Straight up.
filed for divorce, and then started seeing a new doctor to transition.
He filed for the divorce.
Yeah.
He truly did become a woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then yeah.
He truly did become a woman.
See what I
Well,
did there,
not
Jordan?
really. He really didn't, because
Well,
when they dig up your bones, nothing changes.
No, I'm just
no,
teasing. Women are
he
usually
was.
the ones that file for divorce, so I was just making a
Yeah,
dumb joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the
I get
analogy
you.
he was making. Yeah, that's wild. That's an interesting story. I again pray for that dude. Pray for you.
So thank you. So
Do you,
even in lieu of that, I would say that I would still consider a single dad. At this point, though, like I was saying earlier, I'm not so sure that I want someone with young children at home, because do I want to spend another, 15, 20 years raising the children in my household when I've spent the last 35 doing that already? That was
yeah,
more of the point.
yeah. Okay, so if you got so you're but just your take. And I know that's for you, but just your take
Mhm.
overall for women. Do you think women should date single dads, whether they have a child that's a newborn until a child that's 18? Do you think women should date single dads?
I think that they should consider single dads, and I think that it's also very, very important, before you decide to romantically get involved, to watch observe very carefully how the father interacts with his children and his ex-wife and the rest of the women in his family, especially.
And make
Okay.
sure he don't want to cut his dick off.
Well, yeah, that too.
um,
It's on my list
the
of questions now. Yeah.
uh, just to kind of swing it back to the question we asked last week, I'm just curious to know what you think about this. Do you think men should date single?
Do I one more time? Sorry. I think you cut
Julius,
out on the
Julius, you cut
question.
out. Ask her one more time.
Oh, I was saying to go back to swinging back to what we asked last week. Do you think that men should date single mothers?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, same thing. I would say same thing too. Like before you get romantically involved, watch her around her kids. How do her and her ex interact if she has more than one ex? You know, what's the relationship like? Ask why they're not together and listen on both sides. I say that for everybody. I think that single parents are often overlooked because people say, oh, kids are baggage. And I don't think kids are baggage. I think kids are extremely fabulous, amazing gifts and opportunities.
Um,
So that's where
I
I
Even your
think
understand.
that
stepchildren, even your
do
stepchildren,
what?
even your
Yeah, I
stepchildren
have,
ultimately prove that to be worthwhile.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I have one of my stepsons is an hour north of me, and they just had a baby yesterday. I'm gonna go see them tomorrow, but they're not letting dad know about the baby or anything. So,
Why?
I I understand what you mean by you're saying that children are a gift and things like that. I'm not
mhm,
like that, but I think there is something to be said because you said that parents, single parents, get overlooked. I would
mhm,
argue that the children get overlooked because parents who break up with their significant other, and not like something where like the dad dies, mom dies, or something extreme.
right,
We're talking about just like it was words that were said that made them break up the family. And so rather than fix the family, they instead move on to somebody else, hoping to start
mhm,
all over and like do things fresh. But I would that it's the children who get overlooked because oftentimes children don't want to have to get to know a stranger. They want to know their father, they want their mother. So they
mhm,
have to deal with somebody that's a total stranger. That takes the focus off of them. And then it's the mom or dad who's in that new relationship. And then when they move on to somebody else and they have a child, now that kid gets mom and dad while their first child has to go back and forth.
mhm, mhm. No, that's very true. Very true. I think that children are very often overlooked and pushed aside. And I see lots of and I will say I see this more with dads than moms, but I am absolutely not saying it's a gender thing either, is that when dads have their children, they call it babysitting.
Oh yeah,
And
Moms have their kids
what's wrong with
all the
that?
time.
no.
Dads
So
babysit their
there's
kids.
yeah, there's this video I saw. I meant to find this video too. Maybe I can find it. I don't know, but there's this great video where it was comparing. It was a woman comparing what it was between her and like when the dad's watching the kids, it's babysitting. When the mom's watching the kids, it's responsibilities. It was like these different things for both mom and dad. So, for example, if a mom orders something to eat, I think Nick, you and I watched this before, but when the mom orders something to eat, she's lazy enough to cook. When the dad orders something, it's like he's a great dad because he's giving them food. So there's like this kind of I don't know if it's double standard, if you want to call it, but it seems like
Mhm,
there's always it's like all great. But when women do something, it's like that's her responsibility. I would argue the reason why it's like that is because I think this is why I often say sometimes I think that men are almost better than women because we're hold to a higher standard. It's like anytime a dad does something for his child, it's almost like it because
Julius, you're cutting out, bro. You're cutting
men
out,
are so
man.
important in children's lives.
You're cutting out, Julius.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It could be the Wi-Fi. I don't know. You guys go
Been
ahead and
pretty
chat. I'm gonna go ahead
pretty
and fix that.
spotty.
Yeah, go ahead and chat. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that.
Okay, well, yeah, I would say it's kind of like women are kind of women get the burden and the benefit of being the primary caregiver by default, usually in society's eyes, and so that's a burden, obviously, like to be the caretaker of the kids, but it also has benefits that come with like child support, uh, the rights of the kids, and all that. So I think when men, the rare time that men are seen with their kids and whatnot, it's not even common for people to assume that the dad gets to have his kids in his life, full custody or anything. So they're like, oh, it's cool that he's actually like participating in his kid's life. It's not usual that you get to see them, raising their kids. I guess I don't know. Just guessing.
Yeah, I think it's very situational, honestly, and I think that a lot of adults are selfish and want kudos and accolades for doing the basic necessity with their children.
So, man, I gotta ask more about the transition. I know we've moved on, but like I just have so many more questions about that topic. May I?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so are you now a trans lesbian? No, I'm just kidding. So,
No.
uh, no, I know. Was it all good in the early years, the early months, and then things
Was
went
it
off the
all
rails?
good? No, I was drowning in a sea of red flags I was refusing to see from the beginning, but it wasn't about that.
Like what? Can you
So,
give anybody, like, say you were advising your younger self or some woman that could run into this? What were some of the red flags that you should have picked up on?
oh, they were all over the place. He had nothing good to say about his ex-wife at all. That's a red flag. Listen out for those kinds of things in people when people can't say anything nice about their exes, then
Especially the
that's
ones they made children with.
yes, especially the ones they made children with. Absolutely.
Yeah, when people rip on their baby mamas or daddies or whatever, it always makes me laugh a little bit. I'm like, well, do you realize that you're basically insulting your discernment, your picking skills to procreate
Mhm.
with?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
coming back on you.
right? And I've had talks with my children because they're all adults now about things that happened uh relationship in general, this is where I was when I met your dad. This is um why I picked him, and these are some things that happened that I tried to work out. And he wasn't interested or whatever it was. Um
A deal breaker for me was that I need my man to have a penis.
well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me at this point too.
That's a
Yes.
reasonable bottom line.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah. And that was where I was at. I was like, well, you can do that. I can't tell you what you can do with your body, but I can tell you that I don't want to be here for it if you do that.
So is he in a new relationship, or she?
I don't know. Nor do I care. I have cut off and blocked because somebody couldn't figure out that divorce was supposed to be an end of abuse, but so we had to block.
Now tell me more about this porn star neighbor. There's got to be some fun show antics that we could tell the
Oh
audience
gosh,
about that.
yeah, that was just a hot mess all the time. I learned to take myself less seriously and worry less about what I'm wearing.
What do you mean by that?
Remember I said that I had to fight for what I wanted to wear or whatever.
To
I
be
was
a
pushing
slutty dresser.
boundaries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I after watching her come and go and all the things that she would wear and the crazy things that she would wear. And I'm not talking about, oh, she's running around in lingerie. That's not what I'm talking about. But like I said, she likes clothes. So
Scandalous stuff. Scandalous revealing.
no, just crazy stuff. Like just, maybe 6 layers and none of them go together. I don't, whatever was on the floor that she picked up that didn't match in any way, shape, or form. And
And because she
you
wore it with confidence, it made you less caring about your appearance, or what do you mean?
It was just, like a realization of, you actually can do that, as opposed to having to wear the uniform of the people around you.
Mm. So what do you wear now these days for like, casual?
Anything I damn well please.
Okay, amazing.
So might be
When you,
leggings, might be a formal. I don't know. Depends.
when you say you wear things, any way you dang well please,
Mhm.
what does that mean? Like, do you go out and you wear things to like show off your body? Like, do you go out and wear
No,
shirts that show off your breasts? Do you wear like super tight
no, I
pants
just
or
wear what's comfortable. I just wear what's comfortable. I don't wear clothes to look sexy, overtly sexy or sexual, because while I was with the ex, I was highly encouraged to be overly sexual, meaning I was overly sexualized.
In public, you were forced to like put on a sexual presentation for others.
Pushing boundaries, yeah, pretty much.
Wow, he's a cuck too.
So yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, any outfits these days that your grandkids would be embarrassed about?
Oh no. Uh-uh.
That's
No, they
that's a good
laugh.
answer. That's all you can really. That's what you got to
Yeah,
do.
no, my kids laugh and roll their eyes sometimes, but no, there's no, no.
if you got with a man and let's say he wanted you to dress modestly, would you listen to him?
Well, we would have a conversation about what modest means, because I think that I do dress modestly.
Whatever I say, it is,
Yeah,
woman.
yeah. I
So
mean, yeah. If he's like basically like, so for example,
if
let's
he's
say you
like,
were
you're gonna wear high necklines and long sleeves and not have your ankles covered, I'd be like, next.
no,
Really?
I mean, yeah. So
Dude, yes, nobody's gonna tell me what to wear.
We don't even know his
no, so
reasoning.
I don't
yeah, so
care.
but I mean,
Amazing.
but if he so let's say for example you wear you guys go out and then you have a shirt where like your cleavage is showing and he says, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you wearing that. It's going to bring unwanted attention. Would you
Do
change
you think
outfits?
that he should have said that before we left the house?
No, okay, but let's say he did. Like, let's say he before he got left the house, he said, hey, before we go
Hey,
out, maybe you
this
shouldn't wear
isn't the
that.
place for your nipples to show through your shirt. Or were you aware that I can see your nipples through that shirt? Would go a long ways, right? Because then you would have a conversation, as opposed to, hey, we're out in public and your nipples are showing
So
and
how's that
I'm
conversation
uncomfortable.
go? Hey, honey, I don't know why I have to point this out to you, but your freaking nipples are showing. You gonna change that outfit?
So, like, why do my nipples make you uncomfortable?
Because
Because
they're
pretty
mine.
much
Yeah, it does make me uncomfortable because
everybody on the planet has
other
nipples.
people looking at your
Well,
body parts are supposed to be mine
So are
only. It
they?
makes me mad.
So, well, then maybe you need to deal with your inner trauma and figure out where your
I need
personal
to deal
issues
with
are.
this terrible woman that I've attached to. You're out.
well, let me ask you this:
Okay.
why, why why is a father considered a good dad when he asks his daughter to dress modestly, but a boyfriend is considered controlling if he wants the same thing?
So there's a difference when you're under 18 and when you're an adult. So if you want a woman that dresses in a certain way, then you need to have that, like, lay that out up front at the beginning, because that's
Right.
not, so
I
I'm
just don't
not
want to hear
saying,
the advertising was supposed to be
well,
mine.
no, that's fine.
Wait,
Then
wait.
you
But
have
hold
a
on, hold on.
conversation about that. Hold
Yeah.
on. This is a thing that you talk about instead of laying it on somebody once you're out in public.
No, we
Maybe,
changed that. We changed that. We're doing it before we
Yeah,
go out.
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's
hold
what I'm
on, hold
saying.
on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
To be fair, my argument was never outside the house. My argument was inside the house. But let me say this right.
Okay, because I heard
Right here.
going out. That was why I was asking.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, yeah, when you guys ready to go out, I was saying that. But what I'm saying is that you talked about, bring this up in the beginning. What if you met the guy, like you were out somewhere, you met this guy, you guys had a great conversation, and then you go on like one date, right? You go on one date.
Uh-huh.
He tells you up front, he's like, this is the kind of person that I am. I'm a guy that doesn't want his woman to be out wearing provocative stuff. I think it brings unwanted attention. He tells
Uh-huh.
you that like front. Do you still
So
continue
I'd
to
be
date
like,
him?
let's be having a conversation about what you think provocative means, because that can mean very, very different things to two different people
Well, let
sitting
me
at the
ask you
same
this.
table. So I think that it's a point of conversation.
Why is it
One,
so important to you to wear revealing clothes
I
if
didn't
it's
say it
that important to
was.
me? Well, then
I
why
didn't
are you
say
so
it was
combative when it's brought up?
Well, no, it's not. It's that whatever you're telling me I need to wear, okay, for one, you shouldn't be telling somebody what to wear.
No,
If
telling you what makes you
so,
comfortable
what
and
I'm
So
what makes
saying,
him comfortable. Not telling you what to wear, but
yeah,
what
no,
makes him
no,
comfortable with you.
right. Okay, so like I said, that's a point of conversation.
Yes, but it
You
seems
have a
like you're kind of like
conversation.
defensive
So
about it.
what does provocative mean? Does that mean that if I don't have a padded bra on and my
Well, look,
nipples
you can
show
find ways to get
through
out
my
of this,
shirt?
but
Hold
ultimately,
on, hold
isn't
on.
your man supposed to be the one that's protecting you? And
yeah,
therefore, shouldn't he be able
um,
to tell you,
So,
well, I
but
don't like
this
you
is
wear
the
hold on,
question.
hold on,
Hold
hold on,
on.
real quick. Shouldn't he be able to tell you, I don't like you wearing these things out because it invites opportunity for me to have to protect you from people?
Sure, sure. And when you're both in your 20s or early 30s, maybe there's a little more of that. But by the time I'm this age, I've figured out what I want to wear. So my
can I?
question is, hold on. My question is, if I'm not embarrassing myself or my children or my mom, who's has had the biggest issues with my clothes my whole life, am I making you uncomfortable because something in yourself that you have not dealt with yet? Or are you truly not comfortable because I didn't wear a padded bra and my nipples are showing through my shirt and therefore you're uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Or
So,
Yeah, the
because
second part.
somebody's
The second
drawing
one.
attention? Because
well,
I
so
shouldn't have to, hold on, I shouldn't have to cover up parts of my body, extra padding to make sure nobody sees nipples that everybody knows women have unless they've had them surgically removed.
But how hard is it to cover them up?
yeah,
Most people
well,
do.
So
yeah,
actually, so you're telling me that's why I'm asking. Are you talking about cover them or make your nipples like totally not there?
yeah.
Because
Let
that's
me.
a big difference, because if you're telling me to completely make it look like I don't have any, then you're telling me I need to wear clothes that I don't usually wear.
Yeah, let me just say this. Word provocative, right? It means exciting, um, sexual desire. So if you're
Okay,
wearing
so
something
are we
like,
talking about for a
hold on,
Mennonite
hold on,
or an
hold on,
Amish
hold on, Stacy,
person or Joe Average
hold
on
on,
the
Han,
Stacy,
street?
he's going to explain.
hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I'll let you talk. Let me get
Yeah, yeah.
my. Uh, so I mentioned the man bringing it up in the very beginning. Like you
Uh-huh.
said to bring up in the beginning. So I'm going on for your logic to bring it up in the beginning. So in the beginning, he says, "I'm the kind of man that doesn't like his woman to be dressing provocatively, meaning like showing her breasts, like wearing clothes that can bring unwanted attention from other men that he has to be compelled to protect you from, when you can just protect yourself by not doing that and not put him in a situation." So when you talk about what is provocative, you're making it subjective when the objective truth is exciting sexual desire, meaning that you're wearing things that make the opposite sex or you.
So are you saying I should like hide in a hoodie?
So
Because I
I never
think,
said
hold
anything
on.
about
You'd
a
be
hoodie.
showing your
No,
nipples
no,
if it
this
makes your
is my
husband
question.
uncomfortable.
If I wear a turtleneck sweater, okay, like a
Look, we're
heavy
just saying, just
duty.
cover your nipples. We're not telling you about more to wear
So
Wait,
turtleneck
okay,
look,
or
look,
okay,
otherwise.
look.
hold on.
Wait,
Are
wait,
you
wait, wait.
saying
Hold on,
that we need
guys.
to wear
Hold up a second.
padded
Hold up.
bras to make
Hold
sure
up,
that our
Stacy. Hold up.
nipple outline doesn't show through? This
Wait,
is what I'm
Stacy.
asking.
Hold up. Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Hold up. I'm going off for your argument, right? So you said, should I
Uh-huh.
wear a hoodie? I never said nothing about a hoodie. Like I never went to any
You said
extremes.
you don't
I
want my nipples
merely
to show. I'm trying to find out what the base is on this,
Your
well,
because
nipples not showing is the basis. That's
so
all.
you mean
yeah.
no
So
outline, no nothing. No
No
outline of
nipples.
nipples at all. So women should not have nipples outlines showing on their shirt. So we should all be
Correct.
required to wear padded bras or several layers
Not
of clothing
required to.
all
It's like
the
to
time.
respect your husband and your family,
So
your
my
kids,
husband doesn't respect me enough to
to let you wear your nipples out in
let
public.
me not
No.
wear a
Yeah.
bra. Hold on,
What?
to let
Correct.
me
No, hold
not
on.
wear a bra. Because
Hang on
the
a second.
only
Hold
way
on.
that my nipples aren't going to show is if I wear a super heavy
Hold on.
padded
Hold on a
bra.
second.
Oh,
So
get
are
out
you
of
Hold
here.
on.
saying I need to have one on all the time to make sure my husband, who I don't have yet, is comfortable
Hold
with
on.
me in public?
Well,
But
let's Julius.
we're getting hung up on the whole nipple part. That's what we're getting hung up on. What I'm saying is this: when you're in a shirt where your breasts are showing that other men can look at, and then may try to approach you while you're with your man, and your man have to be compelled to protect you from that. Why put him in that position if he's telling you in the beginning? According to your logic, your stance in the beginning, he's saying, I don't like my women to dress like this. And it seems like rather than respect his wishes, because he's actually protecting you by saying, I don't want my women to dress a certain way, because then he has to step in and try to protect you. He's protecting you from not doing that at all. So that to him,
So,
and that
so
your body
there's
and that
the
your body and that your body is exclusive to him and not inclusive to other guys.
well, sure, okay, and one is if the two of you, if my nipples showing through my shirt are causing other guys issues, those guys got issues.
So
And it's
here's the
not,
issue. Why
so
do you find the
here's
need to wear them?
what?
Why do you
Why
find the
do
need to
I
wear?
feel the need to wear my nipples? Because I
No, to
can't
wear
take
an
them
outfit that
off.
reveals your nipples. Yeah, yeah.
I don't wear a bra. I have not worn a bra
Why?
in
Why?
years
Why do you think that that's like
because
a?
bras are evil. They promote breast cancer. They clog your lymph
Okay,
glands.
so you really walk
So
around with
from
your
a
nipples
health
out? You really walk?
aspect,
Hun,
I don't
hold on,
wear a bra.
hun. You gotta let us
Okay.
host the show. So,
Okay.
you really walk around with your. You can see your breasts right through your shirts.
I didn't say I wear sheer shirts. That's why I'm asking you about the
Hun,
shape
just
of
relax.
nipples showing
You're a
through
little,
shirt.
like a combative. Like we're just trying to
Yeah,
just
no,
figure
no,
out where you're
no.
at.
I'm not combative. I'm just saying this is why I was asking you. Are you
Okay, that's why
worried
I was
about
just
the
defining it as
shape
your
of
nipple
nipples
showing.
coming
Your nipple,
through?
hun, Sharon, your nipple showing. That's all I'm defining it as. No more, no less.
So if you can see my breasts through the shirt, I'm not wearing it in public. If
Good.
you can
Okay. All
see
right. Well, then
an
that's all we're talking
outline
about.
of a nipple and you have a problem with that, why do we not have problems with men's nipples showing too?
Well,
Oh my
us men
God.
don't
Or
show our
lumps
nipples
in
in public,
men's
so you
pants.
don't gotta worry, Sharon. You don't gotta worry about us men doing that. When's the last time your man? Well, your man might have worn that
How
top,
about
but
how about
most men aren't trying to show their nipples and stuff. It's not an issue.
how about their stuff in their pants?
Well,
Well,
most men
so
aren't
hold
showing
on.
that in public either.
Yeah, let me actually say this real quick, because what you're doing, we're trying to just understand why women feel the need to be, sexually desired to other men, and then what you're doing is you're pointing the finger at men, saying, "What about the men, though?" So it's like you're trying to take away accountability from the woman, and that's what we're arguing right now, is the fact that you have a man that has a boundary, and he's saying that I don't want my women to dress a certain way, to be, I want him to
Hmm.
be modest, and you're like, well, I should wear whatever I want, and it's like,
So then, so what I said
especially we
was,
have older, hold on, especially we have older people, if us who are older than the youth today, we should be leading by example and not
uh,
showing that, oh well, I'm this age, I should wear whatever I want, and encourages other young women to do the same thing.
That's the question. So, are you all right with your granddaughters wearing shirts that are revealing of them like that?
my daughters and I wear the same shirts. Our nipples show through our shirts,
And you don't think
not
that
like
that's
sheer. Hold on, you didn't let me finish. I
Sharon? You got to
didn't
just
say
relax a
they're
little, hun.
sheer
You're a
shirts.
little on defense. We're not trying to like
I
criticize
didn't
you.
say they were see-through shirts. I said you can see the outline of our nipples. We don't wear bras.
Like Jennifer Aniston in
Bras are
Friends. Like
evil.
Sharon, like Jennifer Aniston in Friends, right? Like you can see her beaming or whatever through
I
the
don't know.
skirt.
I don't watch that, so I don't know what
Well, like, so you can see her nipples beaming through, but you don't see them like through a sheer shirt, is what you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
Okay, that's probably, you can see that somebody has nipples, but I'm not saying it's like, oh, look at my nipples.
Do you realize? Do you
I'm
realize
just
that
saying,
men are sexually fantasizing about you every time they see that?
so do you realize that men are sexually fantasizing about me every time I walk down the
Well,
street?
can you answer that question first, and then I'll answer yours?
So actually, I've been told that's not the case, that
Well,
some
then
men
they're lying
do
to you to
and
try to
other
fucking
men
fuck
don't.
you.
I've been told that some men have more control than that.
But they still want to
So,
fuck you when they see your nipples
so
poking through the shirt.
you mean to tell me that every single man that sees a shadow of a nipple through a shirt is ready to just fuck somebody?
Most likely, yes,
I?
unless proven otherwise. Unless they're
Yeah, can
old
I
and like
actually
have
So tell me when men are not ready to just fuck somebody.
because
can
men
I
are.
actually elaborate on that? Can I
See,
elaborate
that's
on
what I'm
that?
saying. It's not about my
Um,
nipples, it's because I'm a woman.
so let me
Right.
just say this. As a man, you know, that's what I identify as a man. I haven't transitioned.
Mhm.
I'm actually stationary. I would argue that when I see a woman who is dressed modest, I don't objectify her. I don't objectify women, period, but I don't. I'm more likely to not objectify her. I'm actually looking with respect. I'm like, oh wow, you know, she's a pretty woman, but she's dressed
Uh-huh.
modestly. I respect that, and the fact that I
So,
see that she respects herself, that's the kind of woman that I would want to get to
so,
know.
so
I
I
see
have a
that she respects
question,
herself.
Julius. I have a
I'm sorry?
question, Julius. As
What's
far
up?
as modesty goes, do you require that bras be worn for modesty, in your opinion?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want a woman's nipples to be. I mean, if
Yeah,
it was
I'm
my
sorry.
girl,
Yeah, so
so as the
I'm sorry you
hold on,
feel that you need to have her in a
hold on,
medieval torture
Stacy,
device
Stacy,
all
you
the
got to let him
time.
answer your
hold on a
question
second.
before you.
Yeah, let me finish the answer. So
Uh-huh.
single women can do what they want. You can do what you want, whatever, right? My argument is only when it comes to you having a man. As a single woman, you can do what
Uh-huh.
you'll see what kind of guys you attract based on. So real quick, Elon Musk had this tweet where he said, "You are what you post." I will
Uh-huh.
argue that you are how you dress. If you dress
Uh-huh.
a certain way, men will treat you a certain way.
Sure.
So if I see a woman who's dressed modestly, I'm going to approach her with respect. If a woman who's dressing like a whore, then men are going to treat her like a whore because she's showing off her body. That shows that she has no self-respect, that she doesn't
So the
care how.
question again, is a bra required for a woman to show self-respect in
In
her
public,
attire
generally,
and
yeah, probably.
modesty?
In public,
You
yeah,
think
generally,
Yeah,
so?
probably.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I
I
I
Just
fully
like
think
I
that
wear
disagree.
hey, just
Totally
like I wear
disagree.
underwear in public, hon. There's just standards that we have to kind of go by.
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah,
this is
but
not really
things that are bad for your health are not a standard.
okay.
That's
So
not
you
a
can't
but
figure out
but
standard.
but
another way to
hold
cover
on.
up your body and not wear the bra that's bad for your health. It feels like
Wait,
you're
but
just
So
trying
why
to
hold
have
on.
a
okay,
get
so
out of
there's
jail card
nothing
to show
about
your
hold on
nipples.
though. But there's nothing about a bra that's healthy. So
Stacy,
why is
Stacy, I don't
it
think
that
you're listening to
you,
me, huh?
as a
Stacy,
man
Stacy,
who's
Stacy,
never
Stacy,
worn a
Stacy,
bra, you
Stacy, Stacy, Stacy. I don't think you're listening to me. That's not what I said. There's not a way that you could avoid the bra and still
so when
somehow
it's
cover. Stacy,
115
Stacy,
degrees,
Stacy,
I'll make sure I
Stacy,
put a
Stacy.
hoodie
Please
on
stop
for you.
interrupting. You're never going to hear the question if you keep interrupting in the middle of it. That's not. I'm not asking what you think I am. There's no way to cover up your nipples and your boobs that is not using a bra.
I didn't say I was naked, and I already said
So what
multiple
are you
times
saying?
that
What
they're
are you
not
saying?
sheer.
So
I'm
what are you
wearing
saying?
clothes. I'm putting a t-shirt on, and my nipples poke
There it
through
is. It's a
because they're
t-shirt. Why don't you
nipples.
wear a thicker shirt or something?
I do. That's what I said. If I put on a bulky sweater, you can see my nipples.
But hold
So
on, Stacey.
that's
Let me,
what
let
I'm
me
saying. Unless I put on like a hoodie and a heavy jacket, you're going to see my nipples. I live in the desert. It's 120 degrees in the summer. I'm going to wear a tank top or a sundress.
When you pick
let
up
me
the
ask
kids
you
from
this
the
Who
question.
has
grandkids from
a
school, you go there
problem
with your nipples
with
hanging
what
out.
I wear? They're not the right guy for me.
Stacy,
This
when
is
you
the
go to
point
school to
that
pick
I
up the
tried to make
Stacy, when
before.
you go to school to pick up the grandkids or whatever, you go with your nipples hanging out, like let them
I
loose.
wear the same thing I wear all the time. If you have a dirty picture of that, like a whore in your mind, You're having a problem because that's not what I'm
Stacey,
looking like.
nobody's having a problem. Ben will gladly sexualize you when you have your tits flopping all around in
Men
public.
will
That's
gladly
no problem for
sexualize me
anybody.
when I'm in
But what we're
sweats
trying
and
to
my
say is,
hair's messy too.
what's that?
So here's the thing. This is really important. Okay. This is really important for you men, is that my whole entire life, I have been sexualized and told that I was not dressed modestly enough. I have been dressed extremely modestly my whole entire life. I
Okay.
still dress modestly. Just because I don't wear a bra and you can see the outline of my nipple does not
That's
mean I'm immodest.
that's not
I
modest.
haven't. If you don't think that, that's fine. Then you pick women that are that way.
No
But
man thinks
to
that.
hold on. But to expect all women
I don't
to
expect all women.
change,
I'm just asking. We're just asking you, hon. We're not trying to put this on you.
I don't think that I'm immodest. Nothing shows. I hang out with my kids and my grandkids all the time. I post pictures of myself
But
on
see, I
social
think you're
media.
living in a world of ignorance here,
No, I
willful
don't think
ignorance.
so.
Stacey, I
I
think
don't think so.
Stacey. Well, you want to hear why? Because you're acting like it's men who are somehow like uh, animal, like beneath you, kind of things that sexual. All men can't help but sexualize naked women.
So I'm not naked. That was the point
Your
you're
form,
missing.
your naked form, any part of
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Okay, I see where this is going. You guys, yeah.
Where
You guys
do
are.
you think it's going? I don't know where you're. Amazing. Thank God. I was getting a headache anyway, Stacy.
I had man, I had a question for her because I was actually like trying to like never mind. It's all good. I
She
was trying to
did. Another one bites the
yeah.
dust, bro.
I was trying to ask her because she talked about bras, and I was going to ask her what's the statistics on bras giving you cancer. Like, I wanted to kind of dive into that because she's making it seem like every bra can give you a cancer. But if that's the case, there would be no bras to sell, especially if they're American made, whatever the case may be. Like you can wear certain bras that don't affect you. So that's what I'm going to make the argument of. But and the whole idea and to go on this subject real quick, the whole idea is this. It's like if you're a woman who's 56 years old and you're walking around in public knowing that your nipples are going to show, people will look at that, and you shouldn't care what people think, but at the same time, how you present yourself is how the world is going. So if you're a woman wearing shirts with your nipples showing, men are going to look at that and fantasize about you, and women might look at that, especially modest women who look at that and be like, wow, that's immodest. There used to be a time when people shamed each other. In 1964, I believe it was in the UK, they introduced a woman wearing a shirt that showed her chest, essentially to show cleavage, and women said, I oppose to wearing that. Like, what women in the right mind will wear that? And along comes feminism to push even more that women can sexualize themselves. And nowadays, you got women wearing shorts with their booty cheeks hanging out. They're wearing shirts with their cleavage out. They don't care. And yet they think it's liberation when in reality, it's actually enslavement.
Grandmas with their nipples showing. Dude, imagine all the young grandsons seeing their grandma's nipples like that all the time. They think in their heads like, God damn it, just put a bra on.
Yeah, she rage quit for sure. She definitely did rage quit. So
Hey, but Stacey, we appreciate this is a hard environment to come into.
grandma rage quits on the age of men. That's the clip.
We truly are welcoming hosts, and we try to be fair. We were asking genuine questions and trying to give you like some perspective from a hypothetical male's perspective. You do what you want. You let those titties fly for all we care. You know, just think of your grandsons and stuff. Think of the men that are sexualizing you. Every man that comes by.
She said, not rage, self-respect. I have more self-respect being shown. I'm listen, I'm only arguing the showing the nipples part. I'm arguing I was gonna dive in deep to your question about the fact that um the whole bras thing. You said, well, bras can give you cancer, but not every bra is made to give you cancer. if you can find a bra that doesn't do that to your breast long term, there are bras out there, especially they're American made. Notice I'm trying to push the American made.
Age of Men bras coming soon.
Hey, Age of Men bras made in America. No, I'm just
Bras
tweaking.
and panties, 100% cotton, made in America.
100% modest. No, but she rage quit. I'm sorry, but that's a rage quit. That's what we call a rage quit. When you exit out abruptly, that's rage quitting, and that's what happened. It is what it is. Take the L, Stacy. So
But hey,
it
you're
looks like
welcome back anytime, Stacy. It was pleasant, kind of at points. It was enjoyable, that's for sure. And I give you credit for just hopping into the deep end like that with us on the Age of Men. So you're welcome back.
yeah, it looks like Stacy's mom doesn't have it got it going on. That's
Stacy's
on
grandma
Stacy's
has
mom.
got it going
Got it
on.
going on. This Stacy's mom did not have it going on. So
Stacy's grandma, bro.
the gilf. But that's the thing. Women see that as a gilf. They see nipple, they see gilf. They're like, oh, again, it's so much at play at that. But I would argue if you're a woman that age and you're showing off your nipples, there is no self-respect because you know that you got some nipples showing and you're going out in public where there could be potentially children at. And then if young girls see that and think it's okay, like that can now they always say plant the seed. That can plant the seed to younger girls going, oh, she's wearing a shirt. Oh, her nipples are showing. And that stays in her mind subconsciously. And oh my God, dang Buzz, you're terrible. And I can
I resisted
that
making
can
that
plant
joke
the
the whole
seed.
time, Julius. I wanted to make that joke.
I'm not gonna go that route. That's not in my more ethics to do.
Oh
no. Yeah. That's crazy. So
But yeah, even to your point, dude, she said her daughters and granddaughters are, the nips are out. So, doesn't fall far from the tree.
yeah, and that's my point. Exactly. That goes to my point. So
And you sexualize those women. We can't help it. So men, especially young men, generally over sexualize women. That's a fact, right, ladies? And you guys always complain about that. So why do we not try to minimize or reduce that?
Yeah.
Why do we play into it or allow it to facilitate?
I'm starting to see why her ex transitioned.
Oh.
He transitioned because he was trying to stop her from showing her nips.
He couldn't take it anymore. He's like, if you're gonna show your nips all the time like this, well, damn it, so am I.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a friendly face, Jules. Thank goodness. I thought it was round 2 for Stacy.
Okay, so y'all need to have a Rage Quit Hall of Fame. Just letting you know, I'm not gonna be in it. Just giving you a heads up. But you literally need to have a Rage Quit Hall of Fame. I'm just saying. I don't know which one.
Well, Jules, you're great at cutting up our clips and promotions and stuff like that. Why don't you start making them?
I mean, I would love to. I would have such a blast doing that. Actually, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Stacy, you guys saw it here first. This is our first rage quit we've ever had on the Age of Men. First rage quit you ever saw on the Age of Men.
She did.
I'm telling you.
Sorry, guys. I retired my pasties, so I'm not going to be showing up with pasties. So don't even ask.
So, Jules, did you understand where she was coming from? Was there something we were maybe missing or not seeing from the male perspective?
Listen, I think, look, that whole liberation era happened a while ago, and so I don't understand it now, as opposed to maybe that's still kind of going on with the whole. I don't really know what her views really were, except for she just kind of didn't want to hear from you men. So I kind of get that part.
That's kind of the vibe I was getting.
Yeah. So, but I don't think she really understood what you were trying to get at with the whole, hey, you're actually showing your anatomy, which, I mean, I don't really need to see up your nose to know that you've got hairs growing up in there, like we don't need to see that legit part, the areola and all that good
Unless
stuff.
You want to be sexualized by most men that you come across. Like, that's what I was trying to give her the heads up about. You can sexualize yourself all you want. I don't care. But that's definitely what you're doing.
And so I would think that you would get the same kind of reaction with the type of mothers who breastfeed their babies out in public, which it's kind of two heads of the same kind of dragon. If you're going to be feeding and nurturing a little human being out in public because the baby's hungry, that's a whole other issue, as opposed to I'm gonna go, all balls out and everything, just flopping my titties all up in your face just because I can. Should you, just because you can? Not necessarily.
You
And
can, but you're
especially,
going to be seen as a piece of ass by
absolutely.
most
Then
men
again,
and not anything
exactly. Do
more.
not be disappointed, and do not be angry. Do not throw a rage fit if somebody automatically attacks you for showing off your breastises. So
It's not even attacking you. It's just we're categorizing you as
you're
men.
pointing it out. You're
You
pointing
are
it
a piece
out.
of ass in our mind, not anything respectable like a wife or even a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it
if you
was,
don't want to be categorized as a piece of ass,
I'm
probably
wondering if maybe she
don't
does.
dress like one.
That's what I was trying to walk
But
to.
then why would she get upset if she wanted just to be a piece of ass? She would.
because
I would have
see,
been fine with it.
and
I would have just stood my
that's
ground.
Because
exactly
pieces of
because
ass
Yep.
don't like to be called out for being.
exactly. It's like we got into a point now where women have this idea. That's a great point. She gets upset because we're calling her out. If she didn't care, she'd be like, "Listen, I heard it all before. I'm going to do what I gotta do." But it's because women know that that's not it's not morally right to do, to like show off nipples, be all sexual. They know it's wrong, but it's that feminist mindset that I want liberation. I should do what I want
My
without
body,
no
my choice.
consequence.
I don't need no bra.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what I would have asked her was, are you all about showing off your thong? Because there's those women too that don't wear the bras, that show off their thongs
Oh,
type
I
of.
was gonna get to. I didn't even get a chance to get to
I
that. I was
know there's
watching that
so many.
line of
You could have
conversation.
gone way deeper, no pun intended.
That's what she said.
Jeez Louise.
But yeah, it's very interesting to
So
say the least.
let's bring it back full circle to the topic we were talking about earlier. Come here to get your thoughts on this. We started off talking about should women date single fathers.
Yikes.
What is your take on that? Do you think women should date single dads, or do you think they should avoid them? What's your take?
Oh, yeah. Avoid. Oh man, that's kind of a harsh thing to say. It's like, how do you avoid, and how do you even know? Not to call you guys all liars, but you tend to kind of lie about that kind of stuff, as opposed to with women. You can kind of tell when they've had a kid or two. Like,
Interesting point.
how can you tell that the man has or hasn't had any kids, or has laid seeds all over town? And straight, because I've dealt with men who are completely stoic and will lie to your face, and narcissistic type, and gaslight
Oh
you
yeah,
all the
men
way
will
through.
lie
So
anyways.
it's like, how do you really know that his DNA isn't literally like the guy
Well,
you just
that's a
got
great
by?
point. But let's for the sake of conversation, let's say that it's been determined that he is a father for sure. He's
Okay.
not trying to hide or anything. Like, do you think that's a
Okay.
good guy to like consider?
I would definitely ask a lot of questions. Going back to the whole, should we ask about body count and things like that? Listen, just be real with me. If you've got kids, great. Then I'll be like the judge of your character. Hopefully, you're actually wanting to be in the kid's life, as opposed to being a piece of shit deadbeat dad, which I hate labeling, but just to give you, context. Picture and image. There's men out there who legit will not want to be a father, just to put it, bluntly, supporting, providing and all that good stuff, which I've also dealt with those types. But then again, that goes to show you, if he is a father, and if he is actually showing that he's going to be, or he is in the kids' lives, depending on the age of the kid also, like, is he around every week kind of a thing, every weekend, getting to know one another. I think that would be a good thing to be in that man's life, the single dad's life. It would be an interesting take. And I think the women would, I don't know, in my head, if I never had kids, which I can't even imagine right now, it's wild. I have 4 kids. So if I never had kids and I happen to be dating a single dad, I would actually be really interested in getting to know him more, because then obviously I would want to eventually have kids, and I would want to see what the dynamic is with someone who has already kind of been there and actually wants to provide and take care of the baby. And I just hearing his story would be awesome. But then again, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Do
with
you think
me. But
that women? Do you think that women? Okay, let me talk about like single moms. Do you think that single moms would be more attracted to single dad because you guys can trade
oh,
war
that's a good
stories?
question. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I would say that definitely single moms would have more in common, uh, and more storytellings and more story sharing, I guess, with single dads. Then again, there's the whole comparing issue, which I don't do, but I know a lot of women have a hard time comparing themselves to the baby mama or who exes or whoever. Um, but I think they would be still interesting because at least you know where that single dad is coming from. You know, either hopefully he's trying to provide and trying to be in the kid's life, and that way you know, okay, I can continue dating this person, and because
Yeah.
I've kind of been there. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, and so I don't think we've ever heard this topic being talked about before. Which me and you talked about, which is like, hey, that would be interesting to get a
Well, to
panel of
quote,
single dads and hear it from them.
Only on the Age of Men,
yeah,
folks.
I was gonna say to quote a wise man. Only on the Age of Men podcast do you get these
For real,
conversations.
that would be so. Yeah,
I'm
any
gonna
single
pull
dads
up.
out there, hey,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up this.
holla.
Hopefully, it lets me
And while you pull it up, Julius, I can't wait to get your take on
talk
this.
about singles.
You know what, Nick?
Hold on.
Trust me, I
Hopefully,
was like, ooh,
I can't
I'm
wait to hear
waiting.
his take.
I'm waiting. Yes, I know. I'm waiting to hear it.
I think if I had to guess, I might know it a
hold
little
on.
bit.
Yeah, if my internet gets funky, I'm so sorry. I don't know why.
You're cutting out pretty bad.
Yeah,
We
you
can't
are
really make
cutting
out what
out,
you're saying, but
and you're freezing up.
we can't make out what you're saying, boss. You did.
No, not again.
Hey, it's not as bad. Nothing compared to last week.
Yeah, that was a little crazy.
I learned trial
That
by
was a
fire.
wonky.
I wonder who was sweating more, me or Julius at that moment. Julius is like, "Oh God, Nick's hosting the show."
Oh no, he's like, we can't let the women take over. Me and Megan were like, I mean,
Julius is like, "Nick is opening the show, and the women are trying to have a show with women. This can't be happening."
it's happened before. Me and Rosita took over one time, so
Oh, that's
just
right.
saying.
That's right.
I don't know. Maybe it was
Thankfully, I
meant
was
to
far
be.
away from that episode.
Yeah, you actually were.
Julius, you still there? You frozen? I can't. Yeah, I think you're still frozen.
I
Can you
saw
guys
his
hear me?
eyeballs moving. Oh, there you go.
Now we hear.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Right
sir.
now.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to find it.
You there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, do you want to send me the link or something? I could probably share my screen, right? Because I'm logged in too, I think, as a host or whatever on StreamYard.
Yeah,
Sharing is caring.
No homo.
let's do that because it's I don't know what it is, but the Wi-Fi it's I don't know what
Julius,
it
just
is
send it to
going
me.
on, but
Send it
it
to me. I'll see
always
if I can
seems to
stream
mess
it.
up around this time.
Yeah, no, you're running too much.
Yeah,
You don't have
I
enough
got you.
bandwidth.
No, I got you. I'm gonna send it to you right now. No, but see, the thing is, like, all my tabs are closed. There's nothing open in the background. The only look. When I turn my camera off, it works just fine. I can talk to you guys, no problem. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see what happens when my camera's turned off. Try to share the screen.
Try to reduce your video quality too, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Can you guys still hear me?
Kinda. You're breaking up.
The age of men, but yet women are still able to speak. That's what I call a great podcast. Grace, you're what I call a great listener. You're a great viewer. You're the best. Thank you. And Ruel said, "It's not for you ladies. Of course it's not. And I understand what you mean, but in our culture, that is hypersexualized. No way that is true." What's he talking about? Oh, Salma Hayek's titties. Breastfeeding, I
I
guess.
mean, them all. I don't know. Those are some pretty nice ones. I could say so myself. I'm just saying.
She was hot in her prime for sure. In
They
my
get
in my
bigger. They
my
tend to
degenerate
get
days.
bigger when the more kids you have. They just tend to get bigger. I'm just saying.
What do you say?
So
She
they
used
tend
that
to get
to
bigger.
stay
So.
young.
Yep, they get bigger, and gravity is
And
undefeated.
gravity, yeah, gravity is not helpful, but hence that's why I prefer bras.
Okay,
So
Nice.
can you guys
Yes, sir. We
can you
I
see
guys
it.
see
said
the
a
site?
single father. Yes.
Yeah, we see it, buddy.
Okay, all right. Can you guys
Oh,
see me? Am I good?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank God
sir.
we're
Yeah,
So
you
we're
look
not
here's
like
good
John
as of right
Cena.
now.
Thank God we're not like John Cena. I can't see you. So.
uh,
Oh, you're kind of
yeah.
your
I
audio's
don't,
bad again,
Oh
bro.
no.
Bad audio. Just go off screen for a little bit while you're reading the article. Maybe try that, Julius.
all right. How's that? Is that better?
The audio is much
Could
better.
hear you for sure.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's just whatever. So basically, this says single fathers do vastly better than single mothers. Here's the real reason why. This article was written this year, back in April, and it's written by a woman named Elisha Jane. Uh, she says the subtext reads: the consensus is mothers typically make better parents than fathers, yet single fathers do better than single mothers. Here is why. It says, it's extraordinarily well documented how much of a disadvantage children from a single mother households have over children whose parents remain together. But less well documented is how much of a disadvantage they have over single father households. For example, studies have found that children that from single mother households are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children from both unbroken households and single father households. 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substance, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to
Hmm.
end up in prison.
If they're raised by a single mother, 14
That's
times
Home.
more likely to commit
wild.
rape.
The list, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, do you remember I was telling you in prison, like 60% of all rapists were raised by single mothers?
Yeah, dude, that's a stunning stat.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Um, and so the list does not stop there. Single mother households also account for 70% of all teen pregnancies, 70% of all child murders, and they account for the majority of filicide cases, which means yes, a child living in a single mother household is the most likely to be murdered by their parent. This is crazy.
Whoa,
Mm.
This is crazy
bro.
stuff. Oh crap! Medium has that stupid thing where I can't read the whole thing.
Oh.
Uh, I'll just go to where it stops at, but it says most at this point will probably think that the stepfather is the main killer and reason. However, studies have found this to be false, and that the step parents are no more likely to kill their children than their biological counterparts. This means inevitably that single mothers are, on average, the biggest killers of children. Some studies even show that mothers are the biggest killer of children overall, hence abortion.
Well,
I was gonna say, if you
Though
factor in abortion, yeah, they definitely are.
for sure.
yeah, though it should be noted that others show it to be fathers, while others show that men and women are equally as likely to kill their children, regardless of the dynamics of this complex point. All of this seems crazy considering the consensus is mothers make better parents on average than fathers, yet the data seemingly says otherwise. I wish I could read more, but I gotta like do this whole stupid sign in thing and bull crap, which is ridiculous. I can't stand with websites
That
like
was
this.
enough of a teaser, man. Holy hell, that got my mind running.
Shit.
Yeah.
Can I
Let me
stop
put,
identifying as a single mom today after reading this shit? Like what
You
the
can be
fuck?
trans married.
Can can I make up a story that my ex was like a tranny now? Um Damn, that's wild. Oh
yeah.
god.
I'm
I mean
gonna
talk about
here's
American
what
Horror Story.
yeah, more like American Horror Story. No, I'm playing. Let
Yeah,
me
see
Literally
that too,
horror.
Julius?
Yeah, for real. No
let
joke.
me see if I can what the frack? If I can do this on my phone and hopefully sign in through Google, I'll just read the rest of my phone. Hopefully that'll allow me to read the rest of the article.
Cool, man. We appreciate you. Julius is always holding down the production side of everything,
Heck yeah.
folks. And we like to chat back. So everybody out there, you guys make the show. You're why we show up each week. You guys in the chat. Thank you all. Grace, Ruel, Mark, Joe.
Love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Stacy, I
Awesome
saw out there.
peeps.
Vanessa, Sean, of course. Jackie, Jax. Who, am I missing anybody? Dank Buzz. Best username ever.
Yeah. I know,
Hey.
right?
Anybody else?
Julius,
And
you're
of
breaking
course,
up
Jules.
again.
Funny. I think he actually lives in Sac. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dink Buzz lives in Sac.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so apparently I can't access it, but I think I can access this one. Oh, is this one the same website? No, okay, I think I can access this one. Let me see if I can pull this up. Parents. Whoops.
Considering this, if courts were really trying to do what's in the best interest of children, they would be exactly doing opposite of what they currently do, which is give the women custody typically most of the time. Statistically, if men are indistinguishable from a nuclear family, which is the best circumstance to raise children, but single mothers are obviously undeniably worse in every metric, they would be putting kids with men more often than women if they cared about the kids' well-being, but they don't.
But this is why people
It's a
make the
damn
argument and
shame.
saying, well, if yeah, like they'll make the argument and say, well, if men are better to be in children's lives, then why shouldn't men be stepfathers? But there's a whole conversation to that. Read this website real quick. So this comes from parents.com. And this is the double standards of mom versus single dads. I think I can read this whole article. There's no sign in. So let me read this one real quick. It says, raising a child in a two-parent household is tough, but raising a child as a single mom or single dad is a whole different ballgame, and it's one that more and more parents are taking on. Single-parent families have become increasingly common around the globe. In 2019, Pew Research Center reported that almost a quarter of U.S. children under the age of 18 live with parent and no other adults. Indeed, there were 10.9 million parent families with at least one child under 18 in 2020, based on data from America's families and living arrangements, which comes from the U.S. Census Bureau. About 80% of these one-parent families were led by a mother, according to the data, while 20% were maintained by a single dad. While many studies on single parenthood focus on the health and well-being of single mothers, isn't much data that's out there on single fathers. As the numbers of single parents continues to grow in the
Julius, you're
U.S.,
cutting
there are
again, bud, a
numerous.
lot. You're skipping a lot, just so you know.
Am I really?
You want me to read it? Just send it to me. I'll read it. Or I can read it, folks, believe it or not.
What the heck is happening right now? Let me try this. I'm gonna up my Bluetooth. That works. Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Keep going.
Okay, am I good?
You're still cutting out a lot, bro.
Okay, how about now? Good?
Grace said it wasn't skipping for. That sounds much better so far.
Okay, sounds good now? One,
So
two,
far,
testing,
so good. I'll
one,
let you
two,
know.
one,
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Where was I at? As the parents continue to grow in the U.S., there are numerous battles to level the playing field for moms and dads. Advocates are pushing for a policy and society that can support solo households.
Julius, but it's not so bad. But like you're just like clipping pretty regularly.
All right, how about now?
You're gonna have to keep going. I'll let you know.
Okay, because maybe I'm too close to the microphone. I don't know what's going on, dude. This is ridiculous. This is why we need to start doing the GoFundMe. We're just gonna do a GoFundMe so we can buy a studio, have some decent microphones. because this is ridiculous.
Yes.
It shouldn't be happening like this.
Just real quick,
Hopefully, because
I'm
sometimes I
gonna.
get
Sorry, Julius. Just
to,
wanted to tell
go
you
ahead,
thank
go
you
ahead.
for having me on real quick, but I'm gonna have to take off. I'm not rage quitting, by the way. Okay, so
For
just FYI. Okay,
the
please don't hate on
record,
me.
she's not rage quitting.
For the record, thank you. Yes.
All
Love you
right.
guys. Thank you for having me on. Have a good one.
Jules, we love
Bless.
Yep.
having you. Thank you.
See ya. Where is I at? Okay, so let me. Okay, am I still good now? Can you?
Yeah, you sound good. And
Hold on.
Ruel said, is your phone near the mic? If so, move the phone away from the mic.
Am I away from the microphone? Should be good now. Am I good?
Yeah, so far so good.
Am I okay? If I start cutting out, let me know.
You know it.
So I want to kind of just jump to where it gives the perception, right? So perceptions of mom versus single dad. So I'll just read like the first two paragraphs. We consider child rearing to be largely a women's domain in the U.S. This is problematic for a host of reasons, but it means that society perceives single mothers and fathers differently. This idealized view of motherhood has roots as old as time. Still, it bears looking at the concept of incentive mothering, originally defined by Sharon Hayes in her 1998 book, The Cultural Contradictions of Motherhood. Intensive mothering is the underlying assumption that the child absolutely requires consistent nurture by a single primary caretaker and that the mother is the best person for the job. Additionally, intensive mothering defines a good mother as one who devotes her full time, energy, and attention to her children. And so just kind of skip down. And it mentions what some single moms say. Single mothers confirm they face these pressures and high expectations every day, and they're even shamed when their abilities don't match the ideal. Ideal, and it says you to do it all. Sabrina Rickenbach, Bach, 40, a widowed mom from an 8-year-old daughter in Melbourne, Pennsylvania, says she has seen firsthand that single moms are expected to do it all and then some. Everything is up to me. In terms of school, I am expected to be involved, but it's really hard to participate in any activities since I don't get a lot of help from anyone. It actually seems like everyone just expects me to be able to handle everything. I try my best to keep up, but there are days that I am just tired. And it says the other one is you're constantly being judged. Then there's that fear that if a single moms don't prove they can do it all and have it all together, they will be judged for it. She said, I feel that people assume I'm a hot mess all the time, trying to go at it alone. I was at school. I was at a school event and I rushed in late, and one of the moms said, wow, look who's making it all happen. Surprised you even remembered. Another time, I kindly shared a school picture reminder with another mom, and a bystander at the school pickup said, look at you reminding us. What are the odds? So, I mean, so
Dude, this is all
uh,
projection and insecurities that are like, ladies, you need to just start focusing on being mothers and stop worrying about what other people think because you're doing a shitty job as single moms, apparently.
but I had to push back and say that some there is something to be said though. I get what you mean because what she's saying does sound like is projection, but it is to be said that people might have this perceived notion of what a single mom is because it's like she's a mother, she's expected to do it, whereas when a father does it, it's like hooray, you know what I mean? So this
Well,
also
Julius,
goes
I don't
on.
know if you heard before. Before I forget, you cut out, and I don't know if you got to hear this point. Tell me what you think of this. It was just like what came to me off the top of my head, but um, single mothers are typically they get the benefit and the burden of being perceived, generally speaking, to be the primary caregiver. Meaning, the benefits are that she gets custody most times in a court. She is considered to be the primary caregiver at home and whatnot. These are all benefits. Now, there's burdens too, and these are maybe some of the burdens that yes, when you're generally speaking assumed to be the caregiver, the caretaker, you're going to have to take on the responsibilities that just come with it, and that's what it is. Whereas men are so often perceived to not be in their lives, or their kids are taken away from them, or whatever, that if a man's able to like somehow involve himself in his kid's life, it's not a common sight like it is for to see a woman raising her kids in today's society. So it's like, oh, good for him, or I'm happy to see that, or whatever. Whereas women, it's just expected because again, burden and blessing.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you. I agree with you on all everything you just said, and I understand that too. That there it does seem like to be a lot more benefits for the single mom, um, or for the women in general when it comes to kids and whatnot. I agree with you. I was just
Won't
saying
say there's
that I
burdens too.
think
There's
that
burdens too. This is one of the burdens.
yeah. This is why the article goes on and says it says you deal with stereotypes. So it says Christine Michael Carter, who's 33, author of Mom AF, says the pressure to present as a perfect mom is even harder. Oh god, here we go. It's even harder for her as a single black mom. Oh lord.
She black.
Here we go with the color issue. She explains the stereotype makes her out to be struggling, angry, unkempt, and depressed. She says, while it feels to some single moms that society is just sitting and waiting for them to fail, Carter, mom of two, ages 8 and 4, says that if she doesn't make it to after school activities because of work, she's likely going to perceive as more negligent or less involved than other mothers, even other single mothers. I have to prioritize my time with work and my two kids since I'm the only person handling, for example, emergency visits to the doctor, followed by visits to the pharmacy. I'm definitely not staying for the Girl Scout meeting when there are other mom leaders there or volunteering during my lunch hour. Now, to real quick to make it about color, I mean, I will say in the black community, there is a problem with single parenthood, like a lot. There's often kids growing up without parents all the time, without fathers. That does tend to happen. I don't know what her situation is. If her husband passed away, I don't know that. But to use the race thing, it's just I don't know, dude. That's a little bit.
What's
That's
she
like,
saying, Julius? I know that she said she black, but like, what is she implying about the fact she's black? It's
well,
harder for her.
I think it's because her being black, there's already a stereotype because again, in the black community, there's a high rate of single parenthood in the black community. So her being a single mom already puts that stereotype on her. Oh, she probably hates the men because a lot of times black women don't like black men. They always dog him every
That's,
single chance they get. So her being a single black mom already puts that negative stereotype on her. So I can see where she's coming
yeah,
from, but
she's crying so much about this awful situation and she has to deal with so much shit. Well, you know how you could have avoided all that? Better chose to have and to who and when to have kids with.
yeah. I mean,
I don't have much sympathy for you, lady.
I will say though, because just like men can pick wrong, women often pick wrong all the time. So that's the reason why I
Make it
say like,
work. You got to make it work if you can. And I bet she's the one that filed for divorce and is making it so it could never be.
yeah, I don't know that for sure, but with the high rate of women who do divorces, I would agree that maybe she did. Um,
I would bet on it.
so now here comes the what dads have to say. It says what some single dads say. So they say
Let's
single.
go.
Yeah, no, like single dads say they notice the double standard and it's awkward. They also face pressures and societal stigma. One of them says, you notice the double standard. Daniel Ortega, a 34-year-old dad in Boston and founder of Solo Parent Society, has sole custody of his 3 kids, age 6, 5, and 3. He says that when he's out with his kids, it's not unusual for strangers to act surprised and say things like, Mom have the day off? Looks like you have your hands full. Ortega adds that he feels for single mothers he knows if single moms have multiple children, they are asked if it's the same dad. I mean, we're in a time
Nowadays, you
now
can't be
where
too
women,
sure.
I know, it's that matter of fact, I was watching the podcast of this TV show I like called Smallville, and this guy was telling his story about how he had how his mother had like 9 kids or something like that. And the host asked him, "Is it all the same dad?" 'Cause that's the time we live in now. Like we're in a time now where people are having kids by multiple women are having kids by multiple dudes.
Bro,
That's
I
what it's like
genuinely
now.
find myself asking that as it just like a follow up. If I hear they have kids, I'm like, yeah, all the same father or whatever. Like if I'm like like interviewing them or
Yeah,
whatever. But you have to ask that now.
yeah. Even if she has 2 kids, if she has 2 kids, it's like, is it the same dad? I mean, you gotta know because that does matter. Look, people sit here and talk about body count doesn't matter. We're for single mom because she different that's fathering all these kids. It's like it matters because now it's like that one guy has to deal with 4 dads or 3 dads or 2 dads. Like he's gonna deal with that.
Oh
So it's like
no,
now you got 3 cucks.
no, ho.
You got 3 cucks now, and then they're all serving
Oh
the
my
woman.
god.
Um,
Now you're the one of 4 husbands in a polygamous relationship with your one wife.
exactly. So he also adds and says, if the kids are misbehaving, it's because they're a terrible mom. If they look at their phone at the playground and take a break, they're a terrible mom. I mean, listen, I've been that single dad who's gone to the park, and matter of fact, my told me this. When
Cutting
he
out
took me
again,
to the
buddy.
park,
You're cutting out,
we're like,
Julius.
am I? What is happening right now?
A little bit.
What? Why is now? Let me bring the camera back on. All right, am I good now? Is it better now?
Yeah, maybe stop sharing the
No.
screen for the time being unless you need to see it. Try that. See if that helps.
Yeah. Let me cut this out real quick. I'll read it from my phone if I have to. Okay. How is that? Am I good now? Am I better
Yeah.
now?
And by
No.
the way, you can send that thing to me, and I can read it out for us, man, if we need to.
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. Hold on.
I can read, Julius. Don't think I can't. There's one
I have
mistake
no
one
doubt in my
time. You've
mind.
never let me live it down. I can read.
All right, hold on. Let me send this to you real quick. I'm gonna send it to you through IG, or should I send it to IG or should I send it to IG?
Discord,
I got you.
IG, whatever's convenient for you.
Yeah, I got you. I just sent it to you through IG.
Perfect.
Some dads. I don't know what's going on with the audio. Look, I wish you guys can see what I see on my end. So, okay, here's what I see. So you guys can see the background. You guys can see the Age of Men background behind Nick and I. You guys can see that, right? But what you guys don't see is right up here, like where I'm pointing at, it shows the time, and right here it shows the viewership. Every now and then, the Wi-Fi in between that keeps popping up like there's something wrong with it. So it's like
the freaking tech gods trying to jam up the Age of Man because they know we're bringing the heat.
something's going on, dude. Something's going
We
on.
must stop Julius and Nick from solving the gender wars. They're
Right
going
now,
to make men and women live healthily together again. We can't have that in our robot future utopia.
yeah. See, right now, so you guys didn't see it. It refreshed itself. You guys didn't see that, but it refreshed itself. Like it literally blacked out for a second and did the circle thing. And
We're
then it
gonna have
popped
to
up.
work through these. It might be your Wi-Fi trying to connect to some other like Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure this out after off the air.
I know. I
can try to help you.
I really gotta figure this out. I gotta just get my own. I gotta get my own Wi-Fi box, bro. That's what it comes down to. So I get my own Wi-Fi box, like a very strong Wi-Fi or something. But here's what I'll say to that. So let me speak from my experience now.
Did you send that message, by the way?
I did. I sent it to your IG.
Cool. Go on.
Yeah, if you do find this site, just scroll down to the part where it says what single dad said and kind of go from there. But let me give you my experience, right? I'm a single dad. Let me give you my experience. When I would go to the park, There were times I was on my phone too, but then I thought I tell myself, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be the dad that just sits here like every other parent not watching their kid. Like I want to be involved. And my daughter has memories of me always being involved with all the kids there. Like I will be the dad that's like spinning all the kids on the little thing that spins around, that big circle thing with the bars on it. I spin them around, or like I'll be like playing hide and seek with them, things like that. Like I was always involved. I would say like 98% of the time, like 2% the rest of the time I was on my phone. I was so tired just from work and things like that. And so I would be involved with all the kids, and I would see the parents just sit, especially the mothers, they would sit there on their phones and things like that. And I'm like, what are people doing? Like they're probably on Facebook, they're probably on Instagram, just scrolling, and not really being involved. And I don't know why that used to bother me. And so it's like my daughter had memories of that. She's like, she knows that I was the dad always playing with all the kids. You know what I
Bro,
mean?
speaking to that, my dad was one of the few guys in the neighborhood that was like, around growing up. And all of my homies, my male friends that didn't have males in their life, seriously to this day, like love my dad. Like an uncle or something. Because he's given them something that they otherwise literally just didn't have at all, and they desperately all need young men.
Yeah.
But those memories that you're giving your daughter, my dad would do the same thing. He'd be like exhausting himself to play with all these kids that don't have dads around. You know what I mean? Because I like,
Yeah.
it,
So I know. So maybe even more tired. And then I go home, and then my daughter wants to play some more games. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm like, let me eat first, and then I'll go ahead and do that. So yeah, I used to, I don't know, I was just super involved like that. Cause it's like that shows, especially your child, that wow, my dad's really involved, especially with other kids. Like he treats them like they're his own. And then other parents see that, and then I used to always get parents being like, "Thank you so much for playing with my kid." Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, no problem. And I'm in my mind. I'm like, "Why didn't you do this? Like, where were
someone
you
had
at?"
to do it, bitch. You know what I mean?
Like it was just funny, man. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to see like the mothers, like mothers would be involved, but it'd be like pushing on the swings. Sometimes they're on their phone and pushing on the swings. It was just always that, but I was always like playing with the kids. Like, and I used to think that way too. I was like, why am I on my phone? I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to. I want to be involved. If I sit here and just let her play, it's like the kids are thinking that my dad not want to play with me. I don't know. I always just felt
You're checked
bad.
out. You might as well not even be there. In fact, it could be argued that that's a worse influence being there and checking out consciously, intentionally from your kid. Like, think of their development. Dude, that's great for your daughter and her friends to developmentally.
Yeah, like and then can you imagine like kids growing up and be like, man, there's always that one guy who's always playing with us all the time. I don't know. It's just great. I don't know, like pat myself in the back too much, but
And he black. Like, he's defying all the stereotypes.
I know, seriously. Yeah, I mean, but that's what I mean. It's like as a single dad, it's like I do experience. I mean, there is stereotypes. I hate to say it, but there is. You know, when I'm in my child's life, people see it as like this great thing, like, oh, you know, like it's so good to see you in your child's life. This is the reason why I say I make the argument that I not like men are 100% better than women, because obviously we can't give birth, but I would argue we're held to a higher standard than women. The only standard women are held to is just not be a hoe. And men are held to the standard of being 100% masculine.
Even the hoe thing is, dude, you make a good point, but even the hoe thing now is totally, you're shamed for even like wanting that to be a standard if you're a man. The OnlyFans, you go queen, do whatever you want with your body.
Yeah.
That's all the rage now. But hey, I got this article pulled up.
Okay. I will say real quick though, I think that equally both men and women get shamed that they're virgins. Both equally.
Ooh.
Yeah, because there is a difference. Women are not attracted to men who are virgins, whereas men are attracted to women who are virgins. But equally, they both get shamed if they are
So who do you think's shamed more generally these days? A OnlyFans girl or a virgin?
a virgin.
No
I would
question,
argue,
right?
I would argue a virgin, because you always have other women that will back up the OnlyFans girl, but you never have many women back up the virgins, especially if they're not virgins.
Yeah, no, the virgins are made to be outcasts, or in fact, I've heard of a lot of young ladies say that the only reason they ended up like having sex in the first place was because they felt peer pressure. They wanted to fit in. All their
Yep.
girlfriends were doing it and whatnot. And so they didn't even necessarily want to do it themselves except to fit in. And then they
Yep.
end up ultimately regretting it and wishing they hadn't.
Yeah. And that's I would love to hear that side of the story. See, these are the stories that I would like to talk to women about. Like, you know, the ones that felt pressured to have sex. And yes, you know, they're not trying to not hold themselves accountable, but I'm curious to hear that side of the story. Like, what happened? You know, did you lose your virginity because your friends pressure you to do it? Did you want to fit in? Like, those are the stories I would like to hear, just to kind of, you know, understand, to make the argument a lot clearer. Like, you know, we should advocate for virginity, because when women are often pressuring other women down that temptation route, and it's not good, because then once she has sex with one guy and she gets addicted to it, now she can't stop. Now she's riding the carousel and hoping to have no consequence because of it.
Addicted to dick is a bad look, ladies.
Yeah. Am I saying her name right? Justina?
I've never known how to actually pronounce it. I'm always embarrassing bad at it, but Jacinia, I believe, right, Jess?
Justinia? She says, shame, I took my time, although I would have waited until marriage. Yeah. A part of me thinks that women, the only reason why women advocate when they say things like, I don't care if you have a body count, it shouldn't matter for a body count. I think they only say that because they're out there, they're the ones who are having sex. Like, those are the ones who are having sex with all these people. So they're saying it shouldn't matter because they know what they're doing is wrong. But they don't want it to matter, because when it matters, it holds them accountable. When it doesn't matter, it doesn't hold them accountable.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't matter because you want to have your cake and eat it too. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it does matter. Just like if a man can't get laid, that matters to you ladies. It's the exact opposite. Now, you ladies can get laid by everybody, so if you preserve yourself is how you stay valuable. A man can't get laid ever, so if he can get laid, or a wife or whatever, that's how he proves valuable. It's just the
Yeah.
exact opposite. You can't flood the market with something or have tons of you know penis from every which way, and then if you give it up to any of that, still think that you're as of high value as a woman who never did.
Yeah. Because women often expect men to be traditional, like to be chivalrous. And there's always that expectation for men to be chivalrous, hold the door open, pay for the first date. If there's an expectation for that, then why are we shamed for expecting women to be virgins?
Because they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. She said Jacinia. So you were right. Jacinia.
Yeah, we go back. It's great to see
Yeah.
her out there, actually, Jess. We got to catch up
Yeah.
sometime.
Varel says thing I regularly see mainstream media glorify OnlyFans women for the money they make, but but will they ever get married? Some do. Listen, some do get married, but they'll have to get married to the guy that accepts them. Real quick, Nick, before we end, you had the article pulled up, right?
Yeah. Which part did you want me to read?
Just scroll down to the part where it says what men say. I just want you to finish off with what that first dad was saying about his story, and then we'll finish the conversation on that.
What some single dads say?
Yeah, and it mentions the guy
Gotcha.
Daniel Ortega.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just not the first paragraph, but the second paragraph. Just finish that one off, and then we'll finish the conversation on that.
Okay. You face stereotypes. Quote, I always feel compelled to tell them I am a single father, that I am doing it on my own, says Ortega. My insecurity about it all made me feel like I had to explain myself. When they learn I was a single dad, that's when all the praise comes. Good for you. I don't know any man who would do what you were doing. Those kids are lucky. I've never encountered a mom who received the same praise. He agrees with Dr. Gardere that remarks like these stem from the, quote, inept dad stereotype. Men are assumed to be buffoons who can't even dress a kid, while women are supposed to be the ones who can do it all for the kids, he says. That's likely why dads are praised when things go right, and moms are shamed when they do not. You'll want to prove yourself. Do you want me to pause there? This is a new guy, I think.
Uh, You
You
can
done?
read his. Yeah. Go ahead and read his too.
So Damon D'Arzino, or Enzo, a 43-year-old Boston-based dad of a 9-year-old girl and author of the Single Dad Magic blog, says that dads are generally perceived as the subordinate parent. This has caused him to feel like he has to constantly prove himself to be taken seriously. I see it in action, he says. A parent hesitates when I ask if their daughter can come over to play. A teacher defaults to the mother when sharing school information. I typically just shrug it off, as letting it get to me does no good. Instead, I can use this energy to better father for my daughter. I've accepted that these preconceived notions are still very present. And then there's just some stuff about how to support single parents and whatnot. But I think that's the end of the men's part.
Yeah. So that's interesting because there is I've experienced that where anytime school information gets where the dad needs school information, they'll often go to the mother and like call her up to give her all the information, whereas the dad has to like make an effort to get the information. So I would say this: there's definitely a stigma to both male and female when it comes to single parenthood. There's definitely a stigma, but I think the reason why there's such a stigma with men as far as like um when the dad's with his kids, it's always looked at as like, oh, this is a great thing because again, we hold men to a higher standard to be in the child's life because without the father, the kids is in a broken home. Again, we read the stats earlier where a lot of these people who are, especially sons who are raised in single mother homes, they end up committing crimes to the point of rape.
Bro, 14
That's
times more likely raised by a single woman.
yeah, and yeah. So wait, are you saying you're asking about when the daughter gets raised by a single mother? Like what happens
When you were
to
reading the
her?
stats earlier, they said that a person is 14 times more likely to commit rape if raised by a single mother. So I'm assuming that's usually
Oh
men.
yeah,
But like, man, 14 times more likely if it's just a woman.
isn't that crazy though?
That's a mind melting
That's pretty.
stat.
I know it because it makes you wonder what's happening in the home. Because I'm not saying this happens all the time, probably, but you do have the incidences where other son relationship where she treats her son like her husband. And what I
Yeah,
mean by
son
that
husband.
is that yeah, exactly. And so because the son becomes, he's so close to his mother that he
The
almost
man of
sees
the
her.
house.
Yeah, because he's so close to her, they almost have like a sexual relationship
Dude,
versus a
they do. And you know what, Julius? They kind of
relationship.
do also. In my experience, this is so gross, but like I've seen it. The mom almost kind of sexually allures him or whatever because she can't let him have anyone else or else she'll lose her son
Uh,
husband. So she has to keep him
yeah,
somehow. And if that means somehow, like, I mean, if he's a young male, he's going to have urges.
yeah.
Come home to mama.
Well, think about it like this though. Remember, I was talking about when 'cause I saw this video on TikTok where a woman was saying when you date a single dad, now becomes second because he's the child's first. So imagine that same psychology when it's the single mom raising her son and he's old enough to like a girl. Like let's say he's 16, he has a girlfriend that may be jealous of the girl because the mom's like 40 something, his girlfriend's 16.
Bro, she'll
I'm not gonna agree
sabotage
with
all
Pearl by
this.
saying yeah. I just want to be clear. I'm not earlier than like 16 year olds,
Yeah, yeah. Come on. Let's
6-year-olds.
not do that to
What I'm
the age of
saying
men,
is,
people.
yeah, I'm saying, but like when the mother is like 40 something, or even if she's 30 something, and she sees her son bring home this 16-year-old girl or 17-year-old girl, 18-year-old girl, wherever the case may be, she's younger. So the mother sees that and it's like, no, I'm not gonna let this happen. Like she'll find a way to break up the relationship. I'm not saying this is like majority, it's probably a small minority, but these incidences still happen, and that's really insane.
I've seen it a fair
It's
amount.
because
I wouldn't say it's a small minority in my experience. There, it's more common than you'd like to realize.
yeah, and it's
Because they're
because
alone and miserable, man. They're not going to get any man.
yeah,
They
I
know
was
it.
just about to say. I was about to say they're alone and miserable. That's why, because men don't want them. The men they want don't want them. and to settle for less. I'm not saying women won't settle for less. They probably would, but that's the thing. They'll have to settle for less, which means that they have to find the highest quality beta male that will accept
Or their
their
freaking
past.
son husband.
Yeah, that's
Those are the options.
gross, man.
Son
Yeah,
husband
that's really
seems easier.
gross.
I've been training him since birth. What the hell?
Yeah,
That's what
to
they
be
think to
like this.
themselves, I guess. It'd be too much effort to go out and
He's a,
like land a stranger man right now. So I'm just gonna, breed and train my son to be my husband.
yeah,
Like what the hell?
that's so weird, dude. That's so weird. This is why incest is terrible. This is why pornography needs to stop. Okay, it promotes that kind of stuff. It's so bizarre, but man, it's so crazy, dude. This is the
Ew.
reason why we gotta start bringing back families, like decent families. I'm not gonna say that families aren't perfect because they're not, but I know. See, Justinia says the same thing. Literally in love with your own creation. Yeah, and that's so bizarre. But this is the reason why we gotta bring back normalcy in family. We need the father, mother. We need mother at home, nurturing the children, father working, so that the mother can respect the father. And when I kid you not, when the mother loves the husband, him, the children, monkey see, monkey do, and they're adapted the same thing so that in society, they'll learn how to respect
Mhm.
people based on how the mother respects the father. If the father is disrespecting the mother, that can often make the son disrespect women and can make the daughter hate men. And if the mother disrespects the father, it can make the son weak to not stand his ground and often be bullied by
Beta.
women, whereas it makes the woman resent men for not having the backbone.
Yeah, bitch on wheels and a beta with no backbone.
Yeah, and I would argue that women, they do like a man with a backbone, because a man with a backbone shows masculinity. Like it you just see it. Like you see that masculine man saying no or yes when he needs to. Like he's always firm in what he believes. He's not going to back down. He's not going to argue with you, but he's not going to back down from his principles. Like you know what I mean? That's what women like. They don't want a man that's a pushover. I would argue universally, no woman wants a man who's a pushover. Because it might be cute that he's validating you, might be cute that he's excusing your past, but then at some point, you're gonna like tilt your head and ask yourself, "Is this the right guy?" And now the grass is always greener, and next thing you know, you're with Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Tom's hairy dick. No, uh, just like we're young men or degenerates, we might find use for a woman who's hoish as a piece of ass, but
Yeah,
that's about it. She might find use for a man that has no backbone to be a beta buck, a validator, some attention, a friend zone guy, but she's never ever going to be actually sexually attracted to him, animalistically attracted to him. She's
yeah.
going to step out. She's going to give him as little as she has to keep him around, and then she's going to go step out on him. You caught that one? Dank Buzz is paying attention. You getting dated tonight, Dank Buzz.
Man, dude. But yeah, I mean, but these conversations are always great because it's a never-ending conversation of male and female dynamic. To quote a wise man, only on the Age of Men podcast will you get these conversations, because it's important. You know, people might look at us and be like, "Well, you guys are not Andrew Tate level success." That doesn't matter. It's the fact that we have an individual mind and we can think and we can actually have these conversations. It doesn't matter where you're at. Jesus wasn't rich, and yet he still told the truth.
That's what I
So
think is the niche of our show, dude. We're not those guys that are uber rich, uber big names, influences, brands, whatever. We're literally the common man trying to bring about an age of men, not only just for ourselves, but with the viewers along. And we're doing this to help try to solve, or at least figure out something better for the gender wars that seem to be going on. Because guess what? We actually like women too. We have tons of women we get along with. We have great guests on every week. So
Yeah.
it's not your typical red pill toxic misogyny
Yeah.
podcast.
What's funny is that people might look at this name and go, "Oh, it's the age of it's men." It's where you guys are talking about. Actually, our podcast is talking about the age of men in today's society. Like it's the age of men, and nowadays men. I think things are starting to turn around because, like Grace said, she said, I feel like there's a shift in the world going on. Pornography used to be a thing, now it's being shown as a bad thing. There's tons of truth coming to light these days. Absolutely.
Ooh,
You know
you,
what? I had this thought today. Okay,
you're cutting out, bro.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I had this thought today where, as far
Cut.
as women, oh, am I good? Can you
No,
hear
you're
me?
good. You're good. My bad.
Okay, as far as women being submissive to men, and bringing back the man working, women at home nurturing, all this stuff. I think that people don't want to get back to that. It's not that it will never get back to that. I think people don't want to get back to that. I think because men are too scared to actually have a backbone and say, I'm gonna work, you're gonna be at home. They use the excuse of, well, the economy's bad. So you gotta have both people working, right?
Hmm.
They use the economy as a way to justify not bringing back the nuclear family. And to me, that all comes down to legislation. Who you vote for is going to change what happens in the economy. Because if you're voting for mostly Democrats, their legislation are not going to help the American people. Look at crime, look at inflation, look at the drugs. They don't care. I mean, literally cleaned up San Francisco only because Xi Jinping was visiting to go meet with Biden. You get what I'm saying? So it comes down to legislation. So if we were to start voting correctly, I would argue if mostly men who are logical voted, we have a better society. But that's a whole different conversation. My point is that we can have a nuclear family. We can work within our means. We can have the father working, the man working, the children, the woman at home raising the kids. We can have that. People don't want it to be like that because I think women keep thinking that if they do that, it gives the man power. I will argue it empowers women to not work for the man. How can you be so
Yes,
like how can you be such a slave to your boss, but then say that your man the one that's control? Doesn't make
bro.
any sense.
Okay, so you are more free now to go slave away at a non-salaried position for a company that don't give a fuck about you. So
Mhm.
you're equal to us men now. You happy?
Yeah,
It
that's
sucks
what's so
being an
crazy.
average man out here slaving away like that. We do
Yeah,
it for our families and for society and for other things, but it's not because it's enjoyable. We do it because it's a duty, and that's what good men are here for. That's what you ladies are overlooking when, in fact, it's irritating to us men. I can only speak for myself. It's irritating when men, good men, take these kind of things on nobly and provide you guys a place where you don't have to do that. You can stay at home and avoid that and just be your natural caretaking ways with kids and stuff. But instead of being appreciative and grateful of that and eager for it, you make it out like we're some sort of slave masters. Well, guess what?
yeah,
You're on your own then. C-
yeah.
Careful what you wish for.
Um, I get what Riel is saying too, and then we'll wrap this up. I get what Riel is saying. I agree. It is both. I'm saying that it's definitely both, but Democrats seem to have like the more worst policies. Like Republicans are just or argue at least there's some decency. You look at like South Dakota. You look at trying to think what other state that's Republican.
Texas, maybe Florida.
Yeah, like Florida too, things like that, aside from the anti-Semite First Amendment bill. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yes.
But my point is that you have some Republican states that are doing fairly well, better than Democrats are, especially like crime and things like that. So my point is though is that it comes down to like legislation, what you vote for, and what you end up getting. So it's like you only have men and women both working and being together trying to raise a family because they voted that make it worse for them. They voted on policies that forces them to both work. Therefore, the state raises your child. If you don't vote that stuff and you vote to get better, lower taxes, better gas prices, things like that, a better economy, then the man can work and the woman can stay home. But like Jacinia said, women don't want to stay home. They don't want to stay home. That's the thing. It's not that we can't go back to that. It's that you don't want to go back to that because
Right.
it's not that it gives the power to men. It gives the power to the families. That's the thing people keep overlooking. It's not about who has the power. It's about the family having the power. You now have the power to be a family. But instead,
Dude,
women think that it's slavery to men, but yet they go slave for their bosses with no questions asked.
yeah. Dude, they'll show up to work on time all the time. They'll happily make their bosses coffee, all these things, call them sir, you name it. But so here's the interesting thing, Julius. It just kind of dawned on me too. So women don't want to go back to the home. Men make the sacrifices necessary to keep the family and society functioning. And that said, I think that men would make the sacrifice if we were capable of successfully leading or working from the home towards a successful family structure. But you and I have gone over it ad nauseum on this show. Women who make more than men, a little thing called hypergamy kicks in, and that won't work. They're going to
Yeah.
be on to the next one. So the man can't be the stay-at-home husband and the woman the breadwinner without hypergamy wrecking that relationship and ruining that family. So
Yeah.
the only structure that could potentially work like this is the male going out and working and the woman staying at home and being the child, raising the kids and whatnot. Because like Julius made the great point, if you and your husband are working and you're not at home raising your kids, you know who is? Not you.
Exactly.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter who, but it's not you. It's not you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And I think we can go back to that. It just takes for women to stop acting like, they say it's a patriarchal society, but yet you got more women who are in the work field than men. So how is it patriarchal when more women are working than men? More women are getting benefits than men. How is that a patriarchal society?
Jordan Peterson talks about the fallacy of the patriarch all the time, in the sense that define patriarchy, a society that's benefiting all men, strictly benefit of men. That's patriarchy. Most men are not benefited from the society at all. In fact, most men are disenfranchised, are the ones that the suicide rate is way higher for men. Depression's way higher for men. Men are more victim of violent crimes than anybody else. They're in jail more than women. A single fatherhood, we don't get the courts going our custody way. There's just countless ways that a very small percentage of men, elitists, like Ruel said, elitists, I like to call them, I don't call them elites, are at the top making all the money and benefiting from this system. But most men are not benefiting. Most men are slaving away and not even being thought of, not even being remembered. Or when we're
Yeah.
dying homeless, most homeless are men. Most drug addicts are men. But the patriarch is somehow alive and well. No, you ladies are
Yeah.
delusional. If it was a patriarchy, you would have never been given the right to vote or be allowed to work. And
Yeah.
by
And
the
also,
way, I'm coming for those rights. I'm taking them back. We got to rein you ladies in.
I'm curious to look this statistic up if I can find it. I know we have obviously we aborted lots of babies, 60 million plus. I'm curious to know the statistics on the male population as far as who was aborted versus female. Because I would argue if we live in a patriarchal society, then we wouldn't be aborting the men. We would be solely saying that men shouldn't be aborted. We
Oh
would be
yeah, and
trying.
you know what? That's a great point too. Men would have final say over if abortions are happening or not, and women wouldn't. It would be the exact
Yeah,
opposite of what it is right now.
absolutely. Yeah, and matter of fact, that's actually a really good point. If it was a patriarchal society, Roe v. Wade would never exist.
Right. If it's a
It would,
patriarchal society, men would be the ones that decide your body, their choice.
yeah. And what's funny is too is that it was a patriarch. Not that it's patriarchal, but it was a patriarch that basically said women could abort their babies. Like it was the patriarch that said they could. So essentially, they did tell women what to do with their bodies. they told women to kill their children.
But yeah, they commanded them what to do with their bodies. They didn't like let them decide. You know.
Exactly.
And like, if we're gonna be accused of being misogynistic, patriarchal, whatever's, anyways, I'm gonna enjoy the upside.
Yeah, because if we're misogynist for having an opinion about women, how are feminists not seeing it as misogynistic uh, for the patriarch to tell them that they can kill their babies? How is that not misogynistic?
Oh, even if it is misogynistic, good. I want to be Mr. Misogyny. I'm coming for your right to vote, but that's not where I'm ending. That's where I'm starting, ladies. I'm coming for all your rights. You guys have gotten out of control. It was our fault. We fucked up. We empowered you guys by giving you these rights. We tried to give you a chance. That was our mistake. So I'm going to
Yeah,
correct that mistake. All of us men are going to correct that mistake, and we're going to take away all your rights, and we're going to get things back to functioning straight and narrow, and then we'll decide maybe if some of you are worthy of having them back. But that's what we're gonna have to do. Apparently, like little kids, we're gonna have to put you in timeout.
yeah. I think there. I gotta look into this because I heard Andrew Wilson talk about this, but I think there was a time where, uh, before women had the right to vote, it was like the men. I don't want to misrepresent Andrew, but I think he said something like it was men that did vote. You know, like the married men who was working. eh, I don't know. Like I think it was men who voted that kept society a certain way. But once women got the right to vote, then just all hell broke loose because you had women voting for certain things, and then the men got sympathetic and started voting the same way they voted. I gotta look more into it to know, so don't
Bro,
quote me on that.
women coincide since women have showed up to vote. The numbers of women voting coincides big government growth. So women are inherently uh, what's it called motivated to vote for Big Brother government because
Yeah,
it's the safety net system for them. If they don't have a man in nature, they die. Them and their cubs die. Period. They need a man. But in the modern society that men have built, ironically enough, by the way, for them, they can replace that with Big Brother government.
yeah,
And so because of that, though, they'll always vote for bigger government. They're literally liberal, whatever you want to call it, extreme end of the left, more bigger government. Women have always increased the amount of government.
yeah. Statistically, women overwhelmingly vote for Democrat.
Oh yeah,
So
because the big government.
yep. So that alone makes it all bad. With that being said, I think this was a good show. Again, I apologize wholeheartedly for the technical problems. I don't know what's going on. I gotta fix that. I try to fix it all the time, but I don't know what's going on with the technical stuff. So I feel really bad because it's so unprofessional. Like when I'm doing a live stream like on my own page, it seems to work out just fine. But for some reason, in the age of men, every now and then it starts to mess up. I don't know why. I don't
We're
know.
gonna figure it out this week, folks. We're gonna troubleshoot, and we're gonna come back more professional presenting than ever. But you know what could also help with that? If and when we get the donations, the first thing that we're gonna purchase is a nice setup for Julius.
I know. It's my day nip combos. Yeah,
Right?
we have the clip for that. I think what I'm gonna do is we could turn that into a clip. I think I'm gonna actually turn it into an actual video. Like, I'm gonna do like a good that's gotta be a good like I think there's about a good 20 minutes of that video. So I'm gonna clip that 20 minutes and then make that the first video of the Age of Men YouTube platform is Grandma Rage Quits on Age of Men podcast.
It's
So
a man's world.
but it'd be nothing without a woman. Ricket,
What?
psych. No, just kidding. She said, is it the system that influenced how women navigate, or just the people, us?
Great question.
Um, is it fair to say it's the people in the system?
Well, yeah, and what is the system? I mean, it's ultimate. That's too deep to get into when we're trying to roll out at the end. I'm gonna write that one down.
I know. That's actually that's a great question. That's actually a really good question because I would
Write that down
argue
for
that
next week. Oh, we're
because the
doing our
only
clip show. We're doing our
yeah.
clip show next week. We promote the clip
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
reaction show, right?
Yeah, so next week, if you guys tune in, we're going to be doing reactions to just crazy videos out there based on relationships. I got a lot of stuff that we can react to, and
Me
it's
too.
just insane. So hopefully you guys come back next week for that, it's man, the stuff that I see online. I save so many videos. We're gonna be reacting to all of that. It's gonna be so crazy. One of
And
these
you guys
days,
can send us something to react to as well. Just the same rules always apply. No dick pics, no gross tits.
yeah, nothing too crazy. Just something that we can go, oh, like roll our eyes to. But yeah, so we just want to say it was a great show. Grandma Rage quit. That's gonna be coming pretty soon. So that was pretty hilarious. We appreciate you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe. I will definitely work on my technicalities over on my side, so my apologies about that. But make sure you guys again comment below what you guys think about today's topic. Your comments help out the algorithm. It really truly does. We read the comments, we check the comments, so it definitely does help out. If you want to follow us on all other social media platforms, the links are down below. If you want to support this channel so we can give you guys better quality content, you guys can always donate. Our cash apps are down below. Any questions you guys have, any content you want us to review and talk about, you can always email us or you can DM us and send us links on there at Instagram.com/ageofmen podcast. Really do appreciate you guys, man. It's always great to have these conversations. So we have our first rage quit. So I'll quote unquote drink to that.
Won't be the last, Julius. That much I'm sure.
Yeah, I know that's gonna be great. So I can't wait to see the comments on that one. So appreciate you guys. God bless, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys. Be easy.